Welcome to the podcast. We talk about all the things that are hidden in the shadows. This is Isaac, and on this bonus Roundtable episode 2, I am joined by Unknown Paranormal, Mike from NBC Paranormal, Mike from Shadow Walker Paranormal, and Cory from Cory Med Explores. What's going on, you guys?
Not much. How's it going on? Hey.
All right. I know Mike from Shadow Walker was here with us last night, so some of his input, he made something he didn't think of last night that we're thinking about. Well, the reason why we brought these roundtables into fruition with Megan and I had the idea for is to get different perspectives from different paranormal investigators or people involved in the paranormal from different parts of the world, different parts of how they, not say different parts, but different ways of how they go about their investigations, or at least how they view dealing with the paranormal and the afterlife altogether. So I do have pointed questions, but if you guys have maybe something you wanted to share, or at least ideas and stories that I didn't think about, feel free to bring them into the conversation. More of a conversation, less of an interview kind of based thing. This is Cory's second paranormal roundtable. I think Mike's as well. From last time we spoke. So, but one thing I wanted to go first for some people that are just new to the roundtable altogether is to go around and introduce yourselves, at least from what paranormal team you represent, or what how you essentially how you are associated with the paranormal community altogether. So I'll go first with the Unknown Paranormal.
I'm Mike, lead investigator for the Unknown Paranormal, followed by my brother-in-law Phil, my wife Christy, and we paranormal researchers. We like investigating everything paranormal. I include the rich history of every location that we visit, try to uncover hidden truths, hidden treasures, and everything in between. So that's a little bit about us.
Cory, I know it's your second time through, but for any new listeners or new viewers.
Yeah, so I do Paranormal Hunters of Mass. That's the paranormal team. Obviously, it's only ran by me at the moment. Team kind of split up. So then I do Cory Med Explores, where I explore. So I kind of do the exploring and the paranormal all in one. And that's how I got started with this.
Awesome. Mike from NBC Paranormal.
Hi, I'm Mike from NBC Paranormal, and I'm from the UK. I'm quite a small team. It's just myself, and then I've got a couple of people that join me every now and again. I'm also a medium. I've been doing this for just over 15 years, and I like going to places and helping spirits that need help, or just basically communicating.
Awesome. And what does the NBC stand for?
Much better communication.
And Mike, I know that we got it last time, but this might be someone's first paranormal roundtable that I listened to. I said listen to episode 1.
No, my name's Mike from Shadow Walker Paranormal. We're on the East Coast of North Carolina on the waterfront out here. And we go around doing paranormal investigations and trying to heal things, not so much prove that they're there, but to try to fix some of the things that need to be fixing.
One of the first questions I want to try to get talked about is what got you into the paranormal to begin with?
With us, I think COVID actually was the jump start. Obviously, we mentioned that before. But we've all had our own little ties with something paranormal. For me was what I believe my grandfather. After his passing, I spent about a week at my grandmother's house where one night I got told to go to bed. Under my breath, I said goodnight to my grandfather. And as I lifted the covers up to my shoulders, it felt like someone had placed their hand on the back of my head and kind of stroked my neck and my shoulder blade area. And ever since then, I was kind of hooked. I started watching TV shows, started reading a bit more about, what happens after death. And just to bring my mind with intelligence. And when COVID hit, the three of us sat down and we figured, well, why not give it a try? So we started off with a spirit box and our cell phones. We headed out there, and what we were capturing was hard to believe. So we started social media. We started putting it out there, let people tell us what they think, with some help of some close friends that are into the paranormal, and meeting all sorts of the right people. The group has been strong, and we were able to carry on. And here we are till this day.
I mean, we've all had experiences, obviously. We didn't just say, hey, let's go and find some ghosts. But I think it just also helps that we're also obviously we're family. So being able to do this together is a lot easier than saying, let's go find some people who are into the same stuff we are and let's build a team.
Yeah, I think from a very young age, we've all had our own experiences, and obviously, when you're a lot younger, you don't understand it. But when you're older, you remember things that may have happened, and you're like, oh wow, that was something. I can get some answers out of this. I can investigate this. As a youngin, you don't know that. You just it's great. I love it. And like Mike said, some of the things we're capturing, audio, photo, I think we're capturing, for Canada, some pretty,
Decent.
some decent, evidence here.
Awesome.
So I started pretty much when COVID started too. I started by exploring this asylum that was in my town. And I started hearing some pretty crazy stuff. Went there with a couple other people and we started investigating it. We built a team off of it. We started going really crazy into it. And just like anything else, certain things broke up the team. And I decided to kind of pause the paranormal a little bit, get more into the urban exploring and finding more locations. And as I started getting to the really dark, crazy locations, I would do some of my own investigating and my own paranormal. Other than that, I usually go with my buddy and his wife. We explore all over the East Coast. And if I find that haunted location, I'll go back with people who are paranormal related because they usually don't do it, and I'll investigate it.
Awesome. Mike from NBC Paranormal.
For me, it started at a very young age. So I was able to see things and hear voices and stuff. But at 5 years old, I didn't really understand what it was. And my mum was lucky enough to have the gift as well. But it was kind of like a hard conversation to have at 5. You kind of thought you were, I don't know, you'd go downstairs and you see somebody in your front room, or go upstairs and there'd be somebody stood on the landing or something. It was a bit like, was it my invisible friend kind of thing? So I kind of put it to the back of my mind. And then my mum passed away 10 years ago. And at which point I really wanted to get back into the paranormal and see if I could start communicating again. It wasn't so much that I wanted to speak to my mum. It was more that I wanted to kind of help people, if that makes sense. And ever since then, my gift has kind of got stronger. And then me and my friend decided we wanted to start a paranormal group. And then that's when we started investigating things and going to different places. And then I was lucky enough to buy a property that kind of had a property at the end of it, which was haunted. And I've been doing a lot of investigating and communicating in there, which is where I am right now. And yeah, my gift has just got stronger and stronger in I'd say the last 6 years, maybe, since I've been living here. That's me in a nutshell, really. It's just, it's been a journey. There's been some real dark times here, and there's been some really good times where I've helped people. But yeah, that's it. Just met some really nice people along the way.
Awesome.
I had a hard childhood, had a lot of religions kind of forced on me and stuff. Always was the one to want to know more. And then in the last 3 years, I've been battling some cancer issues in the stomach, passed away a couple of times. And as they say, I awoke. I seen things on the other side, met people on the other side. It proved to me that there is another side. And it's kind of why I want to try to show other people that don't believe that there is something on the other side. My gifts have kind of came from my crossing over and coming back. It's almost like it's real strong. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, kind of thing. But yeah, the same thing. I've always wanted to help the spirits that can't cross, the ones that are stuck, the ones that are causing turmoil and holding on to other spirits and stuff like that. We've always wanted to help the ones that can't help themselves, kind of thing. So that's kind of our mission, not necessarily showing that it's real anymore, but trying to heal some of the broken parts that, need to be healing that people don't see. There's a lot going on that we cannot see. And to be able to try to fix that or help mend some of the hurt and pain, along the way, that goes a long way in the afterlife and our next go around.
Yep. One quick question, I guess, to ask of the three Mikes. Mike Shadow Walker's Mike P. Mike G, you said that funny sound like a rapper name. You said your place is haunted, or the current place you are right now.
Yeah.
Now, have you dealt anything dark there?
Yeah.
All right. I know everyone else here I don't know about you, but everyone else here knows what I can do. Did you have any prior knowledge of what I can do as ability wise? Did you hear what I said?
No, you can't. Just as you were saying.
I said, did you have any prior knowledge of what I can do ability wise?
No.
Okay. Everybody else knows all too well. But I have gained the ability around 2020 to pull the energy of the dead in with my hands. I can feel the energy, I can pull the energy. And I learned to differentiate dark from light from my right to my left. So dark energy, right hand, left hand charges light energy, right? Test and tribulation over years that I've been practicing with also Mike P has been helping me almost focus and master this ability of mine so strong now that I have learned to pull energy in and then also imprison it in a ring, to be specific, a King Solomon replica ring. But I also can pull energy from video, like what we're doing right now. So the reason I bring that up is because I pulled something from where you are right now. Yeah, within the first 10 minutes of us talking. So whatever was there is no longer there. That is of darkness. Just letting you know.
Okay.
Making this more
so with your gift then, do you find out like names or anything like that, or is it you just pick up on energy?
Just energy. Like I remember Mike always told me that this is not a psychic gift. This is I can't hear them, I can't see them any more than anyone else with no psychic abilities can. I can feel the energy, and then which hand charges or sensations is how I differentiate from if it's somebody, i.e. a ghost or something of light, versus something dark spirit, or farther along the level of demonic and stuff like that. So when my hand charges, the sensation feels like your hand's going to sleep. That gives me this warning sign that whatever is here is there. And then I was feeling around everybody else's screens. Luckily, everyone else is fine. But with yours, after you told me it was haunted, I was like, I don't think he should have anything dark there. I don't think he would. And then I felt around, and yeah, your little camera screen down there told me where it was coming from. So if you had something dark there, it's no longer there. Now, I could get the name of it. I would have to go into the ring and ask. Most of the time, they do not give names. They give purpose of why they were there, but they don't like giving out their names, especially even dark people. Like we've said before, people who are a-holes and while they're alive, when they die, they can still be a-holes after they die and stuff like that. So these are those dark spirits and stuff like that. But no, it made me wonder now how haunted your actual place is.
It goes through stages. I haven't been down here, I say maybe 5 weeks, just other stuff like helping people and doing cleanses and readings and stuff has taken me on a different kind of journey, I guess. But yeah, we used to do quite a lot of lives and stuff on Instagram and YouTube in here. I mean, I'm on the main ley line to Stonehenge. I guess everyone knows where that is. Yeah. But it's literally a 2-minute drive from me. So, I mean, I've got stuff coming through here all the time. The darkness that was in here, yeah, he was a bit of a nasty piece of work. And he's come from me from a investigation I went to where he latched on. And I didn't really know until it was a bit too late. Problem was, like doing a lot of cleansing and stuff, he just wasn't going to go. He can't, his energy would weaken, but he didn't want to leave here. So it's pretty haunted at times. I mean, I've got CCTV in there now, and I've picked up some pretty cool stuff on it. Yeah. So I guess it's the same as any haunted place. Sometimes it's haunted, sometimes it's not. If they want to talk, let's talk.
That was a verdict with the house I currently live in right now, or this place, was that at times the activity would be high, and sometimes we go like a good 6-7 months without any activity whatsoever. But ever since me and Megan started getting into the game of paranormal investigating, it got higher and active. But then after I gained my ability, and then Megan got stronger with hers, nothing gets in this house without our say so. And she's gotten very strong with knowing who's here and at least having the channel and stuff like that. I guess that's aside. I just thought I would let you know. So yeah, that's going on. And everyone else is like, oh, geez, I got something in my place. No, you guys are fine. I know Corey goes to some places that a lot of dark things would be, especially the abandoned hospitals and other stuff like that. But
Oh yeah, we've done some crazy ones lately.
speaking of which, one of the things I thought I would be asking is your top paranormal experiences. Because I know as investigators and stuff like that, we've gone through a lot of different places and stuff like that. But what was an experience that you've gone through that either wanted you to, I guess, give you a profound idea that this is real, or it scared you so much that this was like the worst thing you've ever gone through, essentially?
I think for myself, we were invited into a location. I'm not able to disclose the name of it, but we were allowed in, and it's an old hospital. And amongst that, it was just the three of us. Supervision was done, taken care of outside in the parking lot. So we had about an hour time allowed inside and to investigate. And within the first 5 to 10 minutes, we walked in as a group, and we stayed as a group. We were kind of in a straight line. And it was going down this one corridor, and I stopped dead in my tracks. And I said, "Christy, did you say something?" She goes, "No." And in my mind, I heard a full-blown conversation. I was listening to men talking, women talking. It almost felt like a lobby, people hanging out, talking, TVs running. That's what I was envisioning in my mind. And within minutes later, Christy goes, "Mike, what is it you're trying to tell me?" And I said, "Oh, no, I didn't say anything. I'm 10 feet away from you." She goes, "Well, I heard something." Phil comes walking into where I am down this corridor, and he goes, "Do you hear that?" I said, "Yeah, I hear something." So right away, torches on. Let's look to see if there's anybody inside. There's no humans. There's nothing. It's torn down walls, torn down lights. Half the roof is caving in. And I turned to Phil. I remember saying to him, "I don't feel safe. There's something about this moment that we got to go." And I kid you not, at the moment I said, "I don't feel safe," it almost, well, from what the three of us have heard and captured, it was like someone picked up a school desk and threw it to the wall beside us. So you felt the impact, you heard the impact, crash and fall. And I remember looking to my left and right at Christy and Phil. "I'm getting the hell out of here. I gotta go." We turned around, we laughed.
I'd like to add that when Mike said, because we film, when we are able to, we film all our adventures, our investigations. Like, I'd like to add, when Mike had said, "I don't feel safe," I had, I was just moving the camera around, it was a lot to see, moving it around, but slowing down the image at the top of a staircase in what would have been like a big window, nothing on the outside, which is the weird thing.
Yeah, these windows are all boarded up.
Yeah. So slowing,
no light coming in, no light.
yeah, nothing. We couldn't debunk it. Slowing down the image, you can actually see a dark apparition with a white face walk into frame of the window and stop and turn its head. Slowing down the image, you can see it. Slowing down the video. And this is a matter of 2 seconds. I almost missed it. We had to slow it down, but sure as clear as day, you can see it walking into frame. And the next frame, we happened to, for whatever reason, look at the staircase. It was gone. But we captured this just slowing down the image. Slowing down the video is how we captured that.
Jeez, man.
Anything you'd like to add?
That one did really scare me.
Christy has a really good moment with an inmate from the BC Penitentiary. So the BC Pen ran a while back, and they actually have the graveyard of the prisoners that have passed away, and it's all protected by the city now. It's a little bit hidden. They built high rises around protected area of the cemetery.
Which there is petitions going on to actually get the inmates' names on these, because right now they're just numbers.
That's right.
So
So we went there one day. It was nearly wintertime. It was November. And we picked the headstone. So Christy is learning how to use a gift. And we learned this from Megan, actually. She said she sent something. Christy believed that. from a while ago that she did have a gift and she's having a hard time learning how to use it. And as of right now, we've turned it to just follow your gut. Let your gut decide where you want to be. So she picked the headstone and she started making communication. Amongst communication, she got a name of John Walsh. So we used it. You know, what can go wrong? We went for that. And what happened?
Well, I got my hair pulled, and then we were using the spirit box at the time, and I kind of did like a mini session alone. He didn't, I guess, obviously want to talk to two men. And I started feeling anxious out of nowhere as Phil and Mike were walking up towards me, and almost like a panic attack. And then I was on the verge of crying, and I was telling him, like, this guy's doing something. Like, I was completely fine before that. And I told him, like, if that's you, you got to back up. Like, I am not comfortable, back up. And within seconds, I was completely silent. And then over the spirit box, he pretty much said, as Phil was walking up as well, they need to go. So he was very adamant that he just started to talk to me.
Through the spirit box, they, for whatever reason, and again, we film everything through the spirit box. Like Christy said, it was whatever it was. John Wolf was very adamant in not wanting me or Mike to join. Like, we physically had to walk a good 3 or 4 meters away for her to continue that conversation.
On a calm note, not on.
The best thing about that investigation, though, was going with the flow with the spirit box. Is when we gathered the name John Walsh, and we went with to go home and review your footage, your audio, your recordings, and start digging into history of the BC Pen. We came across that John Walsh was 100% an inmate at the BC Pen. And, you know, just based on our findings, based on
Just all added up.
everything.
Everything we caught was pretty much what he told me through
Yeah.
spirit box.
It's
The
definitely,
feeling that he projected on me, what said in our research, almost what he felt, I guess.
Validate.
And other times we've been there several times. Other times we've gone there, we've seen quick shadows. We've had our light rigs turn off when asked to. Like, it just seems to be a very, very active
And
location,
intelligent.
very intelligent. And I believe that whatever is there, we were also able to have some time inside of the BC Pen, which is like 2 blocks away.
yeah.
And it almost feels like,
They're still connected.
yeah, it almost feels like one or more of whoever we were talking to joined us at both the BC Pen and the cemetery. It just feels like whenever we go there, it's like they remember us. And it's like they're usually keen to talk to us, as crazy as that sounds.
So in my opinion, you know, that's one of the best things that could happen is having a spirit remember you. You can return to locations and let them be comfortable speaking with you, where you can bring someone completely brand new and get absolutely nothing just because they don't know that person. So the fact we can jump from one location to another with the same ties and still bring in communications from the cemetery and continue it into the penitentiary, it's just amazing, right? So definitely for me, it's going to be a repetitive investigation spot, right? It's good for practice for Christy, good for us, learning to dealing with shadow play, is what I like to call it. We have good luck, like you said, with that. So definitely a location that we enjoy for sure.
That's awesome to hear that Christy's starting to deep dive more into her abilities. So
Yeah. We're it's hard to sit there. Megan wanted us to come up with questions, and it's hard when you don't really know where to begin. But it's definitely it's become a go-to when we go to locations. You know, I'll look at her and ask her, "Are you at least feeling an area? Are you picking up a sense where you need to be here or do you need to be there?" So, you know,
Try to come in tune with it, I guess, right?
yeah.
I mean, it takes practice with anyway. I know Mike V can always talk. Mike P can always talk about the aspects of being the psychic and stuff like that. And even with my ability, it took practice to at least get to it where it is right now and stuff like that. So like everything, it just takes time. But Mike G, the realist OG, what has been your most profound experience so far? I'm not gonna say assume, but I would say something with your early days as a psychic, possibly.
No, my I wouldn't say scariest because it's always scary. You know, I don't hide the fact that I get scared quite easily. I think I'll just get used to it is easiest way of putting it. But when I went to a prison, I mean, I'm used to seeing things. So when other people see stuff, it's kind of like, it's not validating, but it's quite cool, if that makes sense. So we went on this big group investigation where there was a massive team, but we got alone time. So you were allowed to go and like explore these prison cells, and it's quite a big prison. So we all split up and went into different areas of the prison. And we went into an area which was renowned for female inmates. So it was actually just two of us in there, and I heard a noise. You know that you hear like a knock, you go, did you hear that knock? Except this time we heard footsteps going up into the next level. So my friend Bex was in the lower level and I was on the higher level, and I heard the steps coming up as if it's coming up towards me. She's gone, have you heard that? And I was like, well, I kind of was looking, hoping that you had heard it. And as we both looked up, we both looked at the same time and saw this figure walking up the stairs, stand at the top of the stairs and look at me. So I've obviously freaked out because now it's on the same level as me, and I continued to record. And I've obviously captured this figure at the top of the stairs within what seemed like an eternity, but it was actually only a few seconds. My friends walked into the area where we were. We've all stood there having a conversation, and there was four of us, I think. We've all looked at the same, because you know what it's like when you've seen something, you become very expressive. We've all gone, look, it was over there. And as we've looked, it's still there. It's still stood at the top of the stairs. And then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And it was truly incredible, but truly scary at the same time, because all of us were able to see the same thing, which doesn't generally happen. You usually get somebody go, oh yeah, I saw a shadow figure, or I've seen something, and it's gone within seconds. And then you have to then try and convince everybody that you haven't been smoking something, or, you know, it's like, you know, you're not just seeing things, because as a medium, it's quite hard as a psychic, because I see things and other people don't, but to get everybody to see the same thing at the same time was truly incredible. And it's one thing that stuck with me forever, because that was amazing. That, you know, that spirit definitely wanted people to know he was there. So yeah, that's it. That's one thing stuck with me.
I don't know, a few times I've seen a few things out there when me and Mike Peer out investigating stuff like that, is most of the time shadow figures, and of course he will see something far different from what I see. But that's why I rely on him and Megan, co-host of our show, to be my eyes and ears when we investigate. So they can tell me, hey, we're doing, you know, what's out here and stuff like that. But everyone to share something at one time, that's that entity really wanted to be seen.
Yeah. It was so good. Like when you look at the video, you could actually see like the shoulders, you could see like the whole body form, everything. It wasn't like a clear person, but you could just, when you slow it down frame by frame, you can see clear definition in it. It was just, he was definitely powerful. Like, not that he was going to pick people up and all that kind of stuff, but powerful enough that he wanted to see people to see a true form, if that makes sense. It's really good.
No, Cory, you got any new experiences for us, or one that you remember specifically?
Not anything new really, because I haven't been doing too many crazy investigating. But do you remember the time on the last roundtable where I told you about that entity that pushed my friend down the stairs?
I mean, I would remember, but people who listen to this first time wouldn't.
Yeah, so we were actually at this old asylum, pretty decayed. There's not really much left behind, but we were over there investigating. We had a lot of stuff going on a couple other times. So my buddy was the last one down the stairs. We were all walking down the hallway, and he rarely felt a figure or something push him, but there was nobody there. this was the same building that we caught a tall, dark figure with red eyes following us on numerous occasions. So we don't know if it was him. We never really proved if it was him, but I mean, that was a pretty crazy experience. And then me breaking my ankle at the same hospital, I believe that was paranormal related too. I believe I was pushed. I don't think I just fell. Those would probably be the two scariest experiences for me anyways.
Sounds like a painful experience.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. It was. I definitely think it was paranormal related. Other people think it's full of shit, but
It's full of shit.
No, I remember you were telling me about that. Yeah, that was just how you had to basically crawl your way out of there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you still have that picture I sent you of that too, that we captured of that nurse in that window at that mental hospital? I think you posted it on your page, didn't you?
If I did, I don't remember. Megan Lucia handles our social media, so
Yeah, I think Megan posted a while back. That was a cool capture too.
I know some of the photos you capture while you're out there is just like it's almost like not to blow smoke up your ass, but a lot of it is it's almost artistic. Some of the things you capture from certain angles and images you capture out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see how you take a compliment. All right. Mike P. I know you gave a very strong answer about your most intense experience, but maybe you want to give the same one or possibly a different one from last time.
I've been privy in the 4 years that my gifts have kind of like popped on. I've been able to go to a couple exorcisms and participate in actual demonic possession cases. That alone, just anything you experience during that time will really put things into perspective for you. So
Yeah, that probably scared the shit out of me.
The one that really sticks out the most during we have been at this for about 2.5 hours. Whatever this thing was, it ran across the floor and you could feel it, but you felt it from underneath the floor. So imagine like a horse running across the floor, but underneath, upside down, running across the floor. You can feel it under your feet, and actually being able to chase it down per se, and banish it from the house to try to get rid of it. It really puts things into perspective. So, I mean, jump scares and stuff, of course, we're all going to catch those once in a while when something jumps in your face, but it's really hard to get scared when you've seen the other spectrum and how these things can affect our worlds and us, the living, you know what I mean?
That makes sense. It truly does.
It's crazy all the different stuff we capture.
Yeah. I have every time I won't pick up a camera no more. It's gotten to the point now that every time I pick up a camera and take a still shot, there's something in the camera. So it's almost
I
like,
feel the same way lately. Definitely.
Yeah, so the more you tune in, the more you awaken. And with Mike, with your abilities and stuff, you're getting used to it. You said you were getting used to it and stuff. You almost don't ever really get used to it. You in your head, am I crazy? Am I seeing what else can see it kind of thing? But it's there and it will affect people in different ways. You cause yourself to be a beacon almost. So y'all need to be careful, because remember, the more you do this, the more they're going to want your attention, because they're not being heard and they're stuck not being heard. So it's driving them insane. So when they come across somebody that has a gift and they can communicate, and that's why you guys were saying that, when you guys came up, he didn't want to talk to y'all. He wanted to talk to her. That is true. They're just like us. They have their personalities just like they did in life. They're a beacon. So you start attracting things to you and wanting to talk and communicate with you. And that's, that was one of our hardest things to learn, that me, Isaac, and Megan learned together, is protection. It's easy to go out and poke something, but how do you truly protect yourself from something you can't touch? You see what I'm saying?
Can't see either, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and you're the biggest tool you can use on an investigation is your body. Your body will tell you before the instruments will.
Yep.
And believe it or not, everybody here on this web, everybody has the ability to awaken that in themselves. It's just how much experience or how that.
And I cut out the last part where you said that.
Personally, I just get goosebumps.
What's that?
I said it cut out the last thing you said there.
There's a lot coming in right now. Everybody has got things going on around them.
Yeah, you do too.
So
We
yeah,
say-
I like I said, once you're a beacon, you'll attract them. So
Like you've had
You have a lot of
something
things-
behind you. I'd say right
Back.
shoulder,
did you feel
right
my back?
shoulder. I think that shoulder. You've had something there the
Yep.
whole time.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't like, sometimes things don't like me talking or letting out too much information. I'm learning that there's things that you can be told and there's things that you need to yourself.
It's not going to show up on camera, all right?
And to be honest, you've had something come over where Christy is there. Twice it's moved from her right shoulder that you can see on the screen. Twice it's moved across the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that side. Yeah.
That's what that's one of the biggest things that I try to tell everybody. Once you open up to it, these things are around or come around all the time.
All the time,
It never
yeah.
stops. It's not something that you can close the door on. You might be able to quiet it down, but once you roll that ball down that hill, it's going to catch momentum.
Yeah.
Make sure
Definitely.
you protect yourself. Make sure you're spiritual.
Right.
Find your spirituality. That's the biggest thing. I fought all kinds of religions. I was in foster care, so I have religion forced on me. So, I always question, hey, why are you contradicting yourself? Why does the Bible say this and this happens? And when I passed away and saw what I saw, I will tell you there is more than you know. And this isn't the end. And this isn't the last life you're going to get. This is not the first one you've had. It's a repetitive cycle. Energy cannot be destroyed. It just changes form. So
Yep.
basic physics.
Speaking of which,
And I love talking to people like you guys that actually feel it.
So
Yeah.
can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
For the, I guess, mediums or psychics, however you identify, do you guys obviously you see stuff, but when you feel it, what is that feeling that comes in, if that makes sense? Goosebumps, or do you
Yeah, I don't know
heavy
about
shoulders, or
Yeah, I don't know about Mike, but if I don't see them coming to me and they're trying to get my attention, it's almost like you can feel what they are feeling at the time. So if they're anxious, you're anxious. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're, disgruntled or angry, you get disgruntled or angry. It tends to, they kind of try to show you by making you feel what they feel. I don't know if you've experienced that, Mike, but I experience it a lot where they almost overwhelm.
I'd say you're a spiritual empath. So yeah, that's what that kind of is really. Yeah, similar to Mike really. I seem to get a lot. It's going to sound weird. I seem to be easier to talk to child spirits than I do older spirits, and they're a lot more expressive with their emotions. So, I've been into a couple of places where there's been a child there and they've been abused a lot. So, the sort of discipline is way over the top, and you can walk into a room and start crying. Or in fact, on a couple of my lives, I've just had my attachment, Hannah, she's been there and she's just really emotional. And then I've started crying for no reason. And it's just that build up of pure emotion of not being able to talk or express herself properly. It just comes through really quickly. But you get the normals, so tingling on the back of your neck, or just feeling like you're constantly being watched, or ringing in my ear is the newest one that I've got. So if there's an energy around, I just get the ringing in my left ear, and then I'll go, it's not the right time to talk, or okay, what is it you want to say? And then that's when you get bombarded with a massive conversation and you're just like, it's too much. Have a conversation in 10 words. What is it exactly you want to say in 10 words? And it seems to calm it down a little bit. But it's, for me, the biggest thing right now is seeing people, like, even right now, you could just see people. It's weird.
Yeah, I was going to tell you. So what I've learned is when my left ear rings, they're telling me to listen.
Yeah.
My right ear rings, they're telling me that there's a warning. They're trying to warn me about something that's coming, or something that's going to bother me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had that happen at a cemetery. And so it all started with Christy feeling a sensation in her ear. And
It felt like the power lines. That's how I describe it. Like you could hear the power line.
Like static.
Yeah.
and she asked me, she asked both of us actually, Phil and I, did you guys feel anything? And Phil goes, no. I said, yeah, I got something ringing like my right side of my body in my ear. And she goes, well, there you go. We just felt the same thing. And we had no idea, for one, what it was or how to deal with it. We have learned is, so I'm not gonna say that I'm a psychic or whatnot, because I don't think I am. But I can sense spiritual activity. And I've learned this through a haunted item that we have in our possession. It is a teddy bear. And the reason or how we learned about him was every time I hold him, or every time we're at home and the spirit is in the home with us, I get a body freeze, but it's more directed straight to my head. My head gets ice cold. And then Christy's way of knowing is when she touches the bear.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to stop you for a quick. Who has somebody running around in their?
I was just gonna say
That's the landlords upstairs.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're having
laying there.
hands up there right now.
Okay.
But I apologize.
I was like, what is that? That's freaking me out.
But yeah, so Christy, when she holds our bear, she gets a headache, but it focuses on the temple. And it will stay there for as long as the bear is there. There's days that it's last 2 days. There's days that it's last 4 days. And then that just gives us, the open opportunity to let's investigate and learn, which we have, and we'll save that for a different time. But I was able to use my head cold ability, is what I'm going to say now, as when we go out to cemeteries and when we do go out to locations, we're at the point where, it's not about pulling up to a cemetery, setting up and investigating. It's about learning ourselves and the team. So we kind of venture out 3 ways, and we'll walk an hour or 2 hours. Christy will pick up. I pick up on certain areas. And Phil will have his own area too, where he feels like, let's do this. But going back to the ability side, for one, it's great being able to get Christy learning about her ability. It's also great and having support on, where do we start, where do we finish type deal, or how to protect ourselves properly. As there are some prayers that we do, stones that we carry in our pocket. I don't think that's just it. So definitely, if anybody here wants to add us onto our personal accounts on Instagram or whatnot, any advice is great advice, and we will take that with us for as long as we can. So please let that be an open invite to help us get better at what we're all doing.
I'd like to add something if I could, if that's okay with you guys. Back to like what sorry, back to what some of you guys can do. I'd like to just add something, because we're not at the level of being able to, I mean, we can learn, but we're not at the level of being able to help people cross over. We were at a cemetery the other day, and we made contact with, there was a row of soldiers. We were in a memorial area, and we made contact with Edward came through the spirit box. So, I get up, and right behind us, the gravestone, there was an Edward. And one thing that came through that really stood out to me was, we are lost, is what came through the spirit box. So it sounded like there was more than one and they were lost. But it's like, as a team of paranormal investigators, we're just not at that level yet. Something wants to communicate, that's great. We're getting the evidence. But then for, a spirit, we're spirits who actually do seem to be lost and want to cross over, especially if it is a cemetery. Where do we go from there? Like,
with all due respect, I think with the friends that we've made online and the people that communicate with us on a daily basis, that if that's something that we're going to be searching for to do specifically, it's just as easy as getting into touch with them and organizing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But
I get help, but to open up a whole new chapter where you're going to go out there and try to save a life, I don't.
No, I'm just saying something was obviously very vocal in saying that they were lost, and that's not really what we do. So I just wanted to throw it out there. That's all. I thought it was just very interesting. To me, that was the first time personally that I felt like something wanted help. Like really, or more that it was confused. It was just really interesting to me.
So I would have to say that, like, if you run, obviously something made you feel the need to help cross. That's where your spirituality comes in. Make sure you're saying prayers, but then also ask that they're guided to the light, and ask that the light is actually shown to them. Sometimes they won't look up, and they need to look up. So, remind them they're just like us. Treat them as such, like another living person that's lost. Hey, buddy, I know you're lost. I want to help you. If you can cross, I'm going to say this prayer for you. And then, sometimes that's all it takes to get them to cross. Sometimes it's just, hey, mentioning and actually praying for them and showing them that, somebody's acknowledging and forgiving them and allowing them to move on. And that, that's one of the best things that comes out of our investigations. That feeling of being able to cross people. It's an angelic feeling. You can feel it I can feel it right now radiating through my body. When you do something like that, it's a very spiritual, touching moment, and very emotional. So, you guys out there that don't want to cry on camera, I wouldn't suggest filming it, because sometimes you'll just break out crying, and then, you're like,
we can edit that out later. No tears.
But yeah, I mean, remember their personalities just like ours. A lot of them have died and they don't know they're dead. Mike, I don't know if you run across that. A lot of, fast death. It's like they don't understand what's going on, that they're just caught in a fog and they don't even know they're dead. So you just acknowledging them and praying for them and, saying, I am praying that you will pass. And look, I'm not going to push any religion on you. Spirituality is more than just the Bible or a prayer. It's what you feel in here. You know what I mean? Your heart chakra. It's what you feel in your heart. When you can radiate that, then that will help anytime you say a prayer, anytime you need protection. And you're still learning. So you're going to pray, and they're going to be there next time you come, and then you're going to try it again and it'll work. So, that's the biggest thing is, keep going. Don't stop. Just keep trying.
There's a skill, or it's almost goes muscle memory for investigators that I've noticed, that with dealing with the paranormal as much as you are around, and you don't have to have psychic abilities essentially to at least feel what they feel or know what they know. The ringing in the ear things, that comes to anybody who spends enough time around the paranormal. When you spend enough time investigating, enough time around, that's not essentially a psychic ability whatsoever. That just comes to anyone. And from the paranormal teams that me and Mike have been part of before, majority of the members of the team weren't psychic, but they could still experience the same thing with the ringing from the left to the right. So when you feel something of the emotion of how they want to be perceived, it's because they're portraying that emotion onto you. They want you to know that, but you're not psychic whatsoever, or if you are, who knows? But if you don't have psychic abilities, they want you to know what the message they want to get across, i.e., we are lost and stuff like that. Sometimes they'll blatantly say it over a spirit box or through an EVP or something like that. But sometimes they need to get a stronger message across because it seems to be more dire in some situations. So they try to put, hey, we're lost. Can you help us out here? The other thing I mentioned when Mike G was saying about, you had something moving around you, I'll let you know it's a person. It's not anything dark, so don't get freaked out, guys. With Unknown Paranormal. Feeling around my left hand was charging around in your direction, so it's a person that's moving around behind you, at least someone of the light side of the spectrum. So nothing dark portrayed per se around you. What the hell just happened?
Thank you.
Hold on.
Froze.
Yeah, you
Froze.
froze for like.
Oh, okay. All right. I just
Yeah.
lost connection. Okay. Freaked me out. All right. Never mind. Still recording.
That happens to, your any of your devices. You could be like talking about it. You'll cause your phone to shut off for no reason or something.
Megan, will
I
edit-
can't tell you how
edit
many
this
times. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to places with full batteries and within 10 minutes they're all drained and dead.
Oh yeah.
Knowing
Yeah.
be quite on it.
Yeah.
Everything's chirps. Let's go ahead. No, left, please.
Drained and dead.
But then even as a medium that happens to us, like my girlfriend is also a medium as well. And we've been sat in here before. We both just literally have to leave because we feel so drained.
Tired. Stop.
Yeah, just sap all the energy out of you. You'll get used to that. It's just like they're using you as a conduit and just going, right, I'm going to have all your energy. And that's why sometimes it's good having an EM pump with you, just so you can start putting that energy back in.
Yeah.
Now, I know Mike P was talking about protection, and I know I carry a pretty big gun when it goes into investigations.
Are we talking about personal protection here or spiritual?
Referring to my ability, let's say this.
Right.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get that to Canada.
I carry around a pretty big weapon that protects me from anything that would come close my path, but not everyone has, of course, my ability and stuff like that. So I was just wondering what everyone else uses as forms of protection. If you're not using it, that's going into a firefight without a bulletproof vest. So it's pretty dumb. But what forms of protection do you guys bring with you or use?
For us, just because of the the paratourism here in Vancouver, we spend a lot of our days venturing out into cemeteries. With that, Christy's really good at having us say a prayer before we enter, as well as some incense.
I have a friend that actually has helped me as well, and she sent over some protection, I guess, things or chants. So I make boys gather in a circle and do that with me.
But yeah, even with the cemeteries, the offering of tobacco may be a little old school, but unfortunately we are smokers. So, having a smoke before we enter a cemetery is
That sort of thing.
it's pretty common, right?
Sometimes I have a stone in my pocket.
There's times
Yeah,
that
that's
we'll actually bring flowers with us.
Native.
Um,
I'm getting a lot of native up there where you're at. There's a lot of native stuff going on.
there is, but the thing that's tough is, so the native cemeteries are protective through the band. And the native bands like to keep that to themselves, and I'm fine with that. I
Where
completely
about
am.
when I walk over?
But
Yeah.
the one thing that we do have up here, and that's what I find the coolest part about the cemeteries, is we have a lot of pioneer cemeteries. old settlers, people who helped create certain areas of Vancouver. So regardless, when we go out there, we'll pay respects to those people that have set the path for us when we were not here. And that's just kind of our go-to.
We haven't really come into contact with anything that dark, like nothing really that would be like, whoa, like we need to leave. I think it's been very rare where we've come across something that really freaked us out to the point of where we wanted to stop an investigation. So we that's just my opinion, but
Knock on wood, right?
Yeah. Definitely
Definitely
knock on wood.
Be protected, because just, you may not encounter that while your investigation doesn't mean it's not working.
no, I'm
That's right. Yeah.
Can always follow you out of there too.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing is scrub yourself before you leave. You know what I mean? You wouldn't run in the house without cleaning your feet. So,
That's right.
make sure
Yep.
you clean your aura up, clean your vibe up before you leave. Just to make sure that whatever's there doesn't follow you home. Because that is a common occurrence. The more people you're normal, that is the most common occurrence is attachments, believe it or not. And then some people don't even know that it's an attachment.
That's one thing that we've so Mike G is actually a really good friend of ours, and outside the paranormal we've had personal friends, and he's guided us a bit, and
That's good.
he's told me that it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're investigating and you're coming to the end of the night, you need to let the spirits know that you're leaving now, and you're going to leave them at their home while you come back to yours, and that's their border.
I always do that.
That's been something that has been imprinted in my mind so much that after every communication session, whether it's with a military person or someone that we picked up a sense to talk to, we'll always make sure to let them know that, we do thank you for your time. We thank you for using the energy that you've given us to speak to us, and that we are going to move on now, but we will return to visit you another time. And we hope that you stay here respectfully. As we brought respect to you, we just want it back.
and we do. We stay true to that promise, and we do return. And not every time that we go to a location, it's not all, it's not, sometimes it's dead. There's just nothing. There's been, as you guys know, it's not like you just go to a cemetery and there's going to be activity. Go to a location, there's oftentimes there's just going to be nothing. It's going to be dead. So we just, and then the next time you go, it's active, equipment, feelings, everything. It's just really phenomenal, to be honest. Like some of the stuff we catch and like we find it's still baffling to me. And I get so excited when something's happening. You're like, you feel it. You're like, oh shit, it's happening. Like, I get excited when a spirit ball goes off. It's like, spirit ball, did you see that? Like I love it. We've become obsessed with this. Like I love when we get the responses we get.
It definitely is cool when you get the responses for sure.
Yeah.
Mike G, what do you use for protection?
So I've got two things that I take out with me all the time. One is selenite, especially here. I've always got it in my hands. And I've got an obsidian cross. And I mean, I've got to the stage now where I just think anything that you put positive energy into, belief that it's protecting you, it helps. Just anything that you've truly believed that it's protecting you, as an object will protect you. It doesn't have to be holy all the time. Just anything that you put that energy into helps. Obviously, make sure you're saying your prayers, and just give good intent. Just let the spirits know exactly why you're there, what you're trying to do. Just be clear on what you're doing. And I think that kind of helps. That's it for me.
Yeah, pretty good. So, I mean, I don't know what your closing statements are when you leave an investigation.
I mean, it depends what I've been dealing with. If I'm dealing with children, then obviously try and make it not very disciplined, but very structured on what I say. But then if I'm dealing with like older generation, then for me, it's all about respect. Like if you just go in and you're respectful to them, then they're going to be respectful to you. I mean, I've been dealing with an attachment now for maybe 5 years. And that wasn't because I didn't close. It was just because this particular, young lady wanted, spiritual guidance. She needed help. And I've now had to go and see a medium as well to find out more about her. But it was more about that I look like her dad, and that's why she's now with me. Even though I said, stay here, make sure I'm going now. I'll be back, all that kind of stuff. She was like, nope, I'm coming with you because it's better to be with you. And that's what she's done. But, you could go to some places like what Mike said is that you can go to some places and you really need to be heavily protected because they will make it really difficult not to communicate because they want to communicate, but they want to come with you because you are a beacon to them. They're like, I know you can talk to me. I know you can hear me. So I want to get through to you. And even if you're saying prayers and stuff, they're like, no, we're coming. We're coming.
It's going to happen sometime.
Yeah. So, it's really important that you have something that you believe will protect you because that does protect you. And that, I was gonna ask a question. So do you believe that specific energy, because I believe a lot in energy, I believe that we attract specific frequencies. So again, my girlfriend is a medium and we could both go to an area and go, right, let's see what we can pick up. She might hear something and then look at me as if to say, did you hear that? And I didn't hear it. So do you believe in different frequencies and different ways that you might, let's say Mike might pick up, then the other might pick it up, and then Cory might pick it up, but together, all of us together wouldn't pick up the same thing?
I mean,
I
that's,
believe that.
yeah, that's
It's happened. It's happened before, yeah.
So what about when it comes to helping then? So did anybody else hear that?
I did hear
Is there a
something.
knocking?
I did hear something knocking on the window or something.
Yeah,
Went like knocking on glass.
got out.
Yeah.
So I deal in a lot of I've put it down now to trauma demons. So basically people that been internalizing their pain and then they then manifest a real scenario from that. If that makes sense. I've helped 3 people with that. All of a sudden I seem to get lots of it coming to me, like lots of people dealing with the same things. And it's almost like one particular demon I seem to get all the time.
Yeah.
Is that like a normal thing to happen once you start dealing with that?
It's kind of like once they get your smell, they come to you. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, and then wherever you're at, they look for you, or if they see you, they're coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, definitely that actually, that's exactly how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you got to remember universal law, free will. So if you want, you can't make them cross. You can't make them leave. It's up to their free will. You gave us. So they're just like us. So you're going to run across those people that no matter what you do or what you say, they're going to find you and they're going to keep messing with you, keep poking at you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it goes with the frequencies of what follow us home. Because funny enough, I can't remember the last time me and Megan have asked something not to follow us home, because most times things don't, or they just come to their house anyway. They don't give a crap. But spirits tend to go to Megan for specific reasons, and it's because they know, one, that they can hear, or that she can hear them, but 2, it's because they know someone who needs our help. and majority of dark entities come to our house on a daily basis looking for a fight. After everything that I've done so far, in the majority of the locations we've been to, and then pulling from places like how we're talking, they a lot of them either come to us looking for a fight or looking like they want to challenge me. Is that always the we call it the excuse me, not always a calling card, but it always seems to be like either someone sent them, or they came from a certain location, or they were someone walking by, or they just like, I don't know, they're looking for a fight. And that seems to be the calling card with the frequencies of energies that seem to be coming after us most of the time. But then again, we go looking to pick fights when me and our Mike and our paranormal team go out. But no, what we found out that most spirits come to Megan looking for help. Like they know she can help. They know what I can do for some, how they find out somehow, but then they come asking for help because they know that we can help them. For example, we had someone on recently that was, I guess, a member of a paranormal team or something like that, that had an attachment from a previous place that he went to, many attachments actually, and someone that he knew who passed away came and contacted Megan before we even met him and asked for us to help him without even knowing it, not even meeting him per se. And then after we did, of course, I do what I do, and then it's night and day for him and stuff like that. But that's just a small thing that we've come across. So I think depending essentially on your ability, or at least how you can help, is what kind of spirits you might attract to yourself. And then maybe who you help is who you might piss off. So if you helped a special entity that was trying to cross over, move on, or say you take a spirit away from a certain location because they feel safe with you, you might have pissed off something darker there that was using that spirit to pull off energy from.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that last bit that you just said, because a couple of times I've been warned, like, you need to stop helping people because, yeah, they don't like it. And I'm hoping what you've taken away from me is what's been around me, because I've had, I call them a watcher. So they're very much, they're stuck with you. They watch for a weakness, and once they find that weakness, they'll just keep poking at it. So I'm hoping you've taken that away from me, because it's been with me for a while, just because I've been helping all these people. And yeah, it definitely resonates what you just said.
Yeah, I have to go into the ring and ask why were you there, stuff like that. And speaking in my higher self when I'm in the ring is usually how I get information from them. When I speak in my higher self voice, it's a more of an intimidation factor for them. But funny enough, they have random reasons why they're around. I remember I pulled something from when me and Megan went to a Target. Something was right in front of the store, just hanging out there right in front of a local Target. And I pulled it, and I went in the ring and asked, "What were you there?" And it gave answer was like, "I was looking for meat." Like, that's all it said. I was looking for meat. Yeah. I guess it was looking for something to attach to, so a person they can latch onto. But yeah, how it phrased why it was there, looking for meat. So I was like, all right, you piece of shit, you're in here forever now.
So when you vibrate at a higher level, when your energy is vibrating real high too, remember that that grabs their attention. So that's the other thing. When you're helping people, you're radiating. The light is literally angelic coming off of you at that point. And that's going to stand out in the dark. What I call the neither. It's not like heaven, and it's not like hell, but it's like stuck in this gray, just weird kind of like stalemated kind of world they're stuck in. And they see that light. They can see it like a lighthouse on the shore in the fog, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and then, the big guys, the more you vibrate, the higher the vibration you have, the more they want to poke, or the more they want to test to see what you're about, or, how strong are you? What can you do? Kind of thing.
I agree with that. I noticed I noticed kind of, Mike, when I first started, like when I got excited, like when stuff started going off, I would stop like trying to like provoke them more, and they would come back tenfold.
Yeah.
The more I provoked, the more they would chase me down. So I kind of stopped back with that a lot. It was nicer to them.
I just remember it's like walking in and seeing somebody in the convenience store. You don't know them from Adam, but you show them
Yep.
respect. I hold the door for them. You might say, "Hey, have a good day." You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. Treat them
The person they don't like.
like a person, and then if you get something that's acting not like a person, it'll let itself know. You know what I mean? You'll know it. You'll feel it. Your body will sense it.
Yeah.
It's like the tiger makes the infrasound, and it scares its prey, almost freezes its prey.
Yeah.
When you're around something really negative, you'll get that. You'll feel that that intimidating fear. You know what I mean? You'll know that it's there, that energy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
just treat them like normal people until you come across something that's not normal, and then then it's all weapons out the bag. You want to play around, and we'll poke at you too. So
We actually came across a case too where the medium that I had on my team when we first started tried to let some of these people pass from this mental hospital. And I think it was a really bad idea. She came across something dark that pretty much took her voice for like an hour. She couldn't talk, nothing. Like we had to get out of there. A lot of bad stuff that happened.
So your darker entities will use the ones that are lost or the innocents as energy, like batteries. So they start to collect. So I don't want to sound like a comic book or something, but they start to collect. The real mean ones will collect souls around it or spirits around it and use them as an energy source, almost feeding off of them.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds weird, kind of far fetched, but like, it's right. I don't know. The voice in my head's telling me to tell you that.
Have you ever noticed
Yeah, a
that
lot of weird.
sometimes-
No, go ahead.
Sorry, have you ever noticed sometimes that when like a light starts flickering or one of your pieces of equipment dies, it often escalates really quickly. Like it starts slow, the investigation, and then when stuff starts dying, it sometimes it seems to pick up really, really quick and really, really fast, and then just dead. Just
Yeah.
no activity. Yeah, it's so like it's just amazing. It just goes back to what you kind of said, minus the whole soul thing. It also they also use that with equipment, I think, too. I've seen that. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, they'll pull energy anywhere they can get it from.
The energy that I feel with my hands, that energy from the other entities, stuff like that, that's the energy that they need to be here on this plane. So they pull that energy from lights, from you, from any electronic devices whatsoever, to build enough energy to like a light switch, to scratch you, to be heard vocally, to tap you on the shoulder, stuff like that, or even the mean ones to push you. That energy that they need to be here on our plane is the energy that I feel. So usually when something is absorbing light and stuff like that, they're trying to build enough energy up to be heard out loud, or leaves tap you on the shoulder, or something like that. Just do something physically on this plane of existence. So that's why usually when things pick up paranormally is when you after like your battery's drained or you feel yourself draining, you're like, oh man, I feel tired all of a sudden. That's when something's going to happen because they're pulling it from you to start something up.
Or have you ever had the investigation, like you do the investigation and some investigations you're like, oh cool, let's go do this afterwards. And then there's the investigation that takes almost 3 days to recover from.
Yeah.
Like what happened? Like what happened to me?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like this? That's them
Almost feel nauseous. Nauseous. We had that happen at a cemetery one time, actually, where one of my friends who was a girl got physically scratched to the point where she was bleeding, and we were drained for a while after that one.
Yeah. It's anytime you're touched or you hear something or, they're pulling energy from something. That's why I want one of those, what are they? The Tesla coils.
Yeah.
So basically the idea is you take a Tesla coil, take it to a haunted location and basically amplify all the energy as much as you can and see what happens.
Yep.
And I would like to do that with Isaac because he pulls energy. So I want to see how he would react.
Now
Yeah,
you
that
just
would be a
you
cool
strengthen up.
experiment.
Now you just strengthen up the things I have to take out.
That'd be pretty cool to see, though. Isaac's got that special ability, so that'd be pretty cool to see if it affect him or not.
I wish I could get him to an actual and a native shaman. Those ability, if he had that native knowledge that they don't share, they don't write it down, they don't talk about it. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's the knowledge that he needs. And then he would be, he'd be something else entirely.
He already is something else. I've never met anyone else like him before.
Well, anyway, enough of that. There's something I
Come
guess.
on, your own horn.
To your own horn.
There's something that I said with when it comes to paranormal teams out there. And I'm not saying one person you are or you aren't, but what I've come to understand there's 3 kinds of paranormal teams so far that I have encountered. This goes from well known to unknown. There's the first kind of paranormal team, where it's the clout chasers, those who exploit the dead for their personal gain, i.e., like you have they want to be the next Ghost Avengers, next Ghost Hunters. They want that fame from the paranormal, so their posts and their click and stuff all over the YouTube, just for the specific reason of getting famous. That's it. No other reason except for that. Those who are called the clout chasers.
Kidding.
Clickbait.
Clickbait. Kind of was. And then there's the second class of paranormal investigators who do investigate, do capture, do everything like that, but they have respect for the dead. They understand. They want to understand.
Doesn't want hindered.
What's going on?
Something's trying to stop you.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't had bad internet connection here for a minute or so. But I was saying the second class paranormal investigator, of course, are the ones that they respect the dead. They do investigations, they capture evidence, and they do so in evidence to want to spread the knowledge that there is an afterlife, there is something that happens after we die, or they're trying to understand themselves. And those investigators, they have respect for the dead and how they go about their investigations. They don't never try to disturb or anything like that. But then there's the third class, and this is the rarest of them all because there's only one team so far that I know of that does this, and that's my team with Mike, Shadow Walker Paranormal. Our single goal, is to go to location, place to place, and eradicate all darkness from there, and help any spirits that want to cross over. Because we never make anybody leave. As Mike says, it's free will. We're never going to force. Did I freeze again? Again?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Don't know, but literally in the last 2 minutes, it's not been happening a lot.
yeah.
Megan will edit it together when she gets to the point. But I was saying that the third kind.
She always does.
But it doesn't want you to get to the point.
Yeah.
The third kind is the rarest kind. That's just me and Mike's paranormal team, Shadow Walker Paranormal. And our single goal is to go to location, place to place, and eradicate all darkness from there. And help any spirits of light cross over. Of course, we've talked about free will before when it comes to certain spirits, stuff like that. When Mike's talks about that, we can't force anybody to leave. So those who choose to stay, which we've had in occasions before, when we've gone to locations, spirits who want to stay. And of course, you had a lot that want to leave. But a lot of them can't leave because from our experience is that there's a dark entity keeping them there. As Mike said, using them like a battery to keep those dark spirits, to keep the spirits there to feed off of, to power them up, to torment people and stuff like that from our experience alone. But that's what I said. That's what separates us from most of the paranormal teams because we collect evidence. Do I keep freezing up? What's going on? You guys laughing?
Yeah.
That spirit's robbing your energy, right?
It's like every time you get to that point, it's like it's ready
That's
to
it.
go.
Yep. It's like I'm done.
That's crazy.
I know I'm looking at you guys. You guys are still moving, so I don't know if it's like freezing up or not. But no, that's the least to a question I was going to ask is that what are you consider is your guys' goals as a paranormal investigator or your paranormal teams altogether?
Who wants to answer?
I mean, honestly, I just go to try to, see what they want to tell me, see what their story is. A lot of times we go to mental hospitals, they want to tell you why they died or why they haven't left there. The mental hospitals and the prisons is probably where I've had the most paranormal activity ever of all the locations I go to. I go to a lot of crazy ones. But I would say the hospitals are on the peak, especially the asylums and the old training schools and stuff like that. They just want to tell you why they're still hurting.
Yeah. You get all
Well,
that pure raw emotion in like asylums and hospitals, don't you? You've still got that energy still there, so it's absorbed.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to one and it's been like really, because I don't have access to that here. Like in the UK, we don't really have like asylums and hospitals that you can get into. So what is it like going into one of those?
Very, very heavy.
Yeah, very
Heavy,
heavy.
man. Like the one that we have here in Coquitlam here is you walk in and you get this whole sense of just pure heaviness. The sense that you could tell that there's people were hurting, and that the stories that happen behind those doors are not what they make it to seem. It's truly what you pick up.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's
There's so
very
much.
dark, very lonely. It almost damp and secluded, right? It's different, definitely a different feeling than just being in your normal outdoors, right? Yeah.
Sense. You feel depressed.
I would say
the
prisons are almost the same, though.
I find like a lot of different rooms in these asylums too almost have different like feelings, like different weights of heaviness. If that makes sense. There's been rooms
Of course.
in the one we go to where it almost feels angry, like I'll get angry out of nowhere, like very, very angry. And then the next minute, the next room we go into or corridor, I'm perfectly fine. It is, those asylums are very overwhelming, and I'm not psychic in any way, shape or form, but even I feel something there, that I can't exactly describe. Very overwhelming, like Mike says.
Does it have a morgue?
No.
I was gonna say the morgues are usually the morgues and the operating rooms are usually the most heaviest.
Yeah.
Does that depend on like the age of it? Because I'm guessing like modern technologies evolved since the older times, so they would have used a bit more like barbaric practices at that time, or
Yeah, I would say the more ancient ones, like the ones that I went to that have done like the lobotomies and stuff, those are the crazy ones.
Right.
Those are the ones.
Like
the
research part of the medical field caused a lot of damage.
Yep.
What a testing on patients that are acceptable today.
yeah, it's crazy to think about, isn't it? Like you forget about the olden days where they never used to have like pain medication. It was literally bite down on this piece of leather, we're gonna chop your leg off.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
all that energy and stuff's got to go somewhere, hasn't it?
Oh, we're gonna stick a stick through your eye and pull out your frontal lobe. That's gonna cure all your pain.
Plus something too that as investigators, I find, even though we go there so much and, you're soaking in the history as you're in a mental asylum and it's dated back for many years. But what we tend to forget is the amount of residual energy still left behind on those walls that, you go in searching, thinking you're going to speak to someone. Well, if you were to slow down and just take a step back for a sec, you could probably have a full blown conversation with someone's bed.
Yep.
Well, no, it's the truth, right? Like so much dark stuff. The asylum that we hang out at is known, and there's stories out there that say that family members truly believe that patients in that hospital at the time were taken to that hospital with no actual doctor written proof of why they were there. They were just there. And like you said before, Cory, with all the testing being done with very little medication or medication that was not prescribed for you before, you're now making you hallucinate, becoming crazy. All that.
I got a question for you. With that said, how many of those crazy people weren't crazy? They had gifts.
No, exactly.
They were crazy.
Exactly.
They're diagnosed. So you have schizophrenia or whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that happens
They're
like
like-
today's day too, though, not just in the US.
Yeah.
That still happens now.
Very true.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. The very few mental hospitals that are still open, it does. But they're a lot advanced compared to what it used to be. I mean, we have an old mental hospital that's probably within an hour from me. They were putting radiation in the kids' oatmeal and stuff.
They were still new to them.
What?
No.
That's insane.
That's
Well, I had
actually-
an aunt that was born, I think she's like 70 some years old now, but she was born with Down syndrome in New York. Of all places, Tonawanda, New York, and they put her in a loony bin. There was nothing wrong with her. She just had Down.
Yep.
It's quite sad, actually, for what it is and how people have developed over all these years. And they're still trying to kick back and say, no, we're going to tell you what to do. It definitely is hurtful. It takes a lot from a family, makes that person become something that they're not. Can you imagine?
Yep.
It's just hurtful.
I mean, I talked to a girl who is still alive today who worked at one of them, and she's like, you wouldn't believe how you walk into a room and there would probably be 2 nurses and 40 kids. They're sitting in their own shit and everything because they didn't care. They just left them there.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually found some tapes and played them on a VCR from this hospital, and you wouldn't believe the stuff that went on.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
the way doctors treated these kids is ridiculous. I'd show you and probably cry.
Yeah.
To keep the conversation going, I know it's kind of going a dark path right now. But yeah, the exploits of how America treated the mentally ill is beyond it's extremely criminal. How everything we basically have done to our own. But Mike G, what you would consider is your goal as an investigator and as a medium when it comes to
I mean, my investigation is more to help, not so much prove the people that think they're crazy, but kind of do that. Just, it's always hard, isn't it? People think things go on or necessarily don't think things go on. And I love videoing and I love all that kind of investigations and stuff. But to be honest, I enjoy more the mediumship now than investigating and getting videos and putting up on YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It's really hard. If you look at my YouTube channel, it's hardly any videos anymore because I enjoy more on Instagram and doing lives on there. And I think my overall goal really is just to help as many spirits as I can, give them a voice that they probably didn't think that they've had anymore, and just give them the opportunity to talk. And if I can help somebody along the way, then that's what I'm here for. I do a lot of medium readings now and stuff, and sometimes I feel like I am crazy because voices come through or names come through. I'm scared to say it just in case I'm wrong. I think that's my biggest problem. Is if I say it and it's wrong, I'm going to make myself look an idiot. To just kind of go, right, just say it just in case actually somebody that's watching might resonate with it. And I think this, I don't know if you've seen this, Mike, as well, but if you're doing a live on Instagram, you'll be doing it saying, right, I'm picking up on this person, blah, 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 blah. And nobody says anything until afterwards. And then all of a sudden you'll get a message from somebody going,
Yes.
that was for me. And you're like,
Yeah.
why did you not say it like at the time? So yeah, I mean, that's for me in an eggshell. And sorry, I keep just rambling on. But it's just to help as many people as I can, whether that be people on the earth right now or people that have passed over, just to help as many people as I can. That's it.
I'm looking at Unknown Paranormal, not jumping in.
Okay.
We're kind of the same direction as Mike G, actually. We go out there obviously in search of evidence and wanting to help the spirits who want to communicate and want help. But to take it a step further, we are not shy to provide, we're not ashamed to provide the evidence towards locations that we have visited to. So if we get into contact for a paranormal investigation somewhere and we do capture evidence, we will always go back and submit that evidence to the right people. We don't hide anything. We are there to prove that either their claims are right or false, because, we're only human. But we also give advice on the best way to go about it. So, the people that we talk to is, oh, my place is haunted. Well, haunted to me is, your TV's got to go flying off the wall and your chair's got to go that. They don't understand just the spiritual haunt.
Yeah.
That there is a presence in their home. So I'm not shy to sit down with them and let them know that, listen, you do have a presence. I don't feel that it's bad. Based on your claims or finding, I think it's a relative. And then if we need to, we can always bring in a third party to help us deliver that information or make sure that we're at least on the right track. So that's us as a team.
We just enjoy what we do, really. Like, just go out there and I just, like Bill, it's enjoying, something happens and you're like, yes.
And you know what? I also love going through the evidence as well. I love the editing, the video part of it. It's exciting to me when
You can actually see it.
yeah.
On it on.
And oftentimes, in the moment of our investigation, we'll see something on video that we didn't see here or feel or whatever in the moment. So it does take a lot of times, sometimes hours just to go through 15 minutes. You're looking at every, it takes a lot, but I love it. I love that editing aspect of it, trying to look for the one thing that just doesn't add up. And like Mike said, we're not shy to, once we're positive that, we cannot debunk it, we are not shy to share it and post it and whatnot.
Do you guys take a lot of stills too?
Do we what? Sorry?
Sorry, you kind of cut out.
Do you take stills or do you just do video?
No, they've got an amazing still of a boy stood at the top of the stairs.
That's awesome.
Probably their best. Their best.
Yeah, like Irving House, yeah.
Old
Heritage home, yeah.
I was gonna say still going through videos are fun, but going through stills and flipping, like if you take 10 stills in one room and to see the difference in all the stills is the best.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, some of our a lot of our findings. So going to what Mike G was recommending to is, we investigated Irving House in New West, and Christy had captured a full apparition of a young child at the top of the stairs.
That's awesome.
Where
It's clear as day.
we're at the end of the investigation. I obviously left a donation to the museum. The museum gave me a gift, and the gift was a family history booklet, which included family portraits of just boys, family portraits of just girls, and the husband and the wife, and so on. But during our research and the photo clip that Christy had captured, we started going through this book, and Christy and I narrowed it down to someone who we thought. Now, I reached out to a third party, which was Mike G, and I wanted his input on who he thought we were looking at. And so I sent him the apparition, and I sent him a photo of
A couple boys.
a couple boys in this booklet. And he came back to me to tell me that our findings through that book is the same as what he's thought that we captured. So it was nice to use that third
That's
eye
awesome.
to help us clarify something that we have found.
And I think in the paranormal world too, it's nice to have those contexts where, like, you know, you could be sure you caught something, but before you post
Always.
this or that, you send it to someone, and maybe after you send it to them, you send it to one more just to, you know,
Yep.
debunk it or whatever. This way, when you do post it, people are like, "Oh, that's fake." Like, well,
But
Yeah.
no matter what, I
Yeah,
think
let's
if
do that.
someone really doesn't believe in what we do or have that belief of the afterlife or spirits, no matter what, you can show whatever you want to them, and they're just not going to believe. You
A
know,
lot of people I've talked to, I don't think it's believe. I think it's more fear.
I think
Maybe
people fear what they can't understand
They
and
fear-
what they
they don't understand it,
yeah,
and they get
the unknown.
You know,
I think the best thing to do, and especially as a medium, is make a person that doesn't believe. So when you get a skeptic come to you and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what you tell me, I'm not going to believe
Yeah.
you," and then 5 minutes later they're questioning it, and you're like, "That," because for me, like if I've got a spirit there in front of me and they're talking to that specific person, and they go, "Oh yeah, but you could have found that on the internet." In my head, I'm now going, right, tell me something that I would not know. There's no way. And then when you tell them, you watch them go white. They're like, "What?" I
Yeah.
love that. They love it.
You know, it's really cool. And like I've had, but like I'm sure, you know, you guys might have buddies at work or whatever. We all have full-time jobs. Everybody at our jobs know what we do. You know, I have some people at my job that don't necessarily believe in this at all, and I've showed them some of what we've caught, and they're like, "Wow, like is that Photoshop?" Like, you know, and they start to be like, "Wow," and you know, I'm showing them videos, and they're like, "Holy crap, I heard that! Like, what was that?" And then they start to think maybe, you know, maybe this is for real, and then they start to get interested in it.
Yeah.
And the more people that get interested in this stuff, you know, like, it would be great to see more people into this, you know, and
even getting the
you know,
younger
as-
generation
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people we've met down here, a lot of different teams. A lot of people are older. Not that we're young. I mean, we're in our 30s. She's a little younger, you know. But yeah, absolutely, the younger generation into this would be great. You know, the more people looking for answers, for sure.
Take it serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we're Ghostbusters.
Yeah. It's not how it is. You know,
Yeah.
analyze something. Don't break into something. You know, like treat it how we treat it. You know, it's important, especially for that younger generation who might be interested in getting into this.
What about you then, in Hidden in the Shadows? Has there been a point for you where you questioned if you want to stop doing it because it's got too bad, or are you quite hardcore and you're just like, it is what it is? Has there been a time where you've gone, this is too much?
No, I've gotten to a point where this is not enough.
I knew he was going to say that just by looking at his face from the past podcast. I knew he was going to say that.
And like I said before,
That was awesome.
my goal in our paranormal team is to simply to go to location, eradicate evil, and help the spirits cross over. And I have decided, you know, to do this, and in our pursuit, that's going to paint a big target on our backs, not amongst just the dark entities out there, but amongst paranormal investigators, around skeptics, amongst religious people, among a lot of different groups of people are going to hate our team for what we're doing. Not only proving that this stuff is real, we're also taking away a lot of opportunities for those cloud chasers out there to investigate stuff and get evidence from provoking dark spirits and stuff like that. So there's a lot of reasons for me not to do what we do and stuff like that, but I have more reasons to do what we do because I can. I am so far the only person I've ever known that can do what I do. And for me not to do something, to not fight these things, to not take them off the plane, to not help people that have been dealing with a dark attachment of some kind for years, have gone to shamans, priests, have done prayers, have done different incense, have used this, have used that, and of no avail, this spirit is stuck with them. And then with a 5-minute video call with me, I have it and it's over and done. That level of effectiveness I cannot pass up, and I cannot push to the side, because that would be just extremely selfish on my end to even allow my ability like that just to go to waste. So no, there's never been a point where I'm thinking this is enough. I'm always, and Mike knows this all too well. Sorry, Mike P. That I have a warrior sense of mind when it comes to this, that I am always looking for the next challenge, the next big fight, always, and looking for
You guys, you guys need to come up here because I got plenty of good spots for you.
I think you're right. Like I think mindset as well is always a thing to help people as well. If you've got that positive warrior mindset, I think sometimes, especially in the spiritual world, you can sometimes be a lot more powerful when it comes to things like that. It's when you start questioning things a lot more, and when you start looking at it differently is when you become a little bit more of an easier target.
Yeah.
And I said this a couple of times, and everybody else, I think besides you, Mike, G, know this, but I've said this a couple of times, and I say it's not to be cocky or egotistical or anything like that, but so far, nothing that I have come across has been able to stop me. And that goes for confirmed 5 demons so far that I have taken from the plane.
One elemental.
And 1 elemental. But for sure, 5 demons confirmed. Now, there might be more, but as far as we know from Mike, Megan, and myself, from what we've encountered, for sure, 5 demons that I've taken and put into the ring. But like I've said, I've not met anything so far that's been able to stop me from what I'm doing. Now, the next big final test, which scares the shit out of a lot of people when I talk about this, is an exorcism, like a full blown, like possess exorcism, like when a person is beyond possession and stuff like that, and see how I fare amongst someone like that. Now, most times someone said they'll try to avoid such situations like that, but no, that is what I look forward to the most, is encountering that level of a test, you would say.
I think it might try and knock you down, but I don't think it'll kill you.
In due time, we'll find out.
And I know.
Nice.
Does it not scare you though? Because I mean, my girlfriend's been to 3 exorcisms, and I mean, she's been doing it for 20 years, and she does demonology and all this kind of stuff. And when she comes back, like, you just no. I don't think I could do it.
I honestly, passing over, literally passing over has clarified what's on the other side for me. So none of it fears me. I don't fear any of it anymore. It's not like being, hey, I'm, this macho man or anything. It's literally, there's no fear anymore. It's the big conundrum. What's on the other side? I've been there, and I was told to come back because I didn't want to come back. I was forced to come back. They told me to come back, that I wasn't done yet. So to actually see what's on the other side, it almost reinforces it a little bit more to do what we're doing.
But the exorcism case that me and Mike P were part of together, what we did together, at someone he knows his home, that was my big test, because I've come across different entities out in the field that me and him did investigations together. But this is the first time that we knew for sure that this was a demon oppressing this kid that both Mike
30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. I've done 4 of them. It takes days upon days of praying every day, every hour, fighting. It took him 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
And the funny thing is, this would be is the, I guess, like the egotistical thing you might think me saying, but this is exactly how I experienced it, is that Megan, how it saw it, and how she saw it was how it portrayed itself as like a giant burnt. Best way she describes it is like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxies, but all black and like of ash and like wooden tree with like a flame eyes and horns made of wood, and that's how it portrayed itself to her. But and that's what I was thinking. Oh, this guy's big. This guy's bad. How I talked about it's ancient. This and blah blah blah. And then within, like Mike said, 30 minutes of me being in the room with this thing, I pull it, and the first thought came to my head was this was easy. This was too easy. Too easy to a point where I thought I might have made a mistake. Like I'd done something wrong. Did I actually pull this thing? Did I actually pull something else? A lot of questioning myself, but no, I got it. Apparently this thing just talked a big game. It talked itself up. Like it's just like, oh, I'm a big and bad. And when it came down to fighting, I knocked it out with one punch. Because literally within minutes of after this, the kid turned a 180, was a complete different person from he was before, acted normal, acted happy, started conversating, talking to everybody in the room. Like it was just like, and then of course, time after, the house that the kid was living in, complete difference. The people living there, they weren't suffering and they weren't going through any nightmare things like that. So it was like, okay, I guess I did what I did. So yeah, apparently I can. Doesn't matter how big and bad these things say they are, they don't stand a chance against what I can do.
That's cool enough.
Yeah.
I'd be
Every time you talk about it, drives me. Every time you talk about it, just mind boggles me every time. It's crazy.
Doing an exorcism must make you feel really exhausted, I would imagine.
Yes. Not just exhausted, but like you're physically drained. And like I said, you know, I've done it where, you know, it takes days to do what we needed to do. And then I've done it where it takes 30 minutes to do. And then I've had a fight. But it's definitely will make you realize the things that you're doing can get a whole lot worse and they can get bigger. So that's why I always say, make sure you protect yourself. You know, we're doing the good deeds, but doing good deeds will bring things to come look at us. So just make sure you're protecting yourself out there.
When you do an exorcism, though, does it? Obviously, the person's head doesn't spin 360 degrees. Kind of cool, but it doesn't happen. But, you know, does whatever is attached to that person, does it try to like mind screw you? Like
yes.
Say it's a little boy, but really
they will throw up. They will throw things in your face that you have forgotten that you still feel guilty about. So, I mean, and that's going to somebody that doesn't even know who you are, and they're screaming and telling you to leave them alone, and they can pull up your dirt out of your closet without, you know what I mean?
I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
So I've also seen people contort. I've seen a 98-pound woman actually move 4 6-foot men, grown men, a 90-pound woman. Literally get all 4 men off of her at one time. Yeah. Now it's a whole nother ball game when you see it like that, because what you see in the movies doesn't even scratch it. It doesn't scratch the surface. You know what I mean? They're in your head. They're always trying to manipulate you. They're always trying to get the one up on you. And then they're I don't know. They're kind of like octopus. You get one arm off of something, they got 4 more latched onto something else. Until, of course, Isaac comes along and says, "Hey, get in the ring. I'm done with you." And then, he says more than that. I won't give away all his secrets.
Get in the ring. I'm done with you.
Yeah, to go about it in a sense like that, when we dealt with the oppression, not possession case. So like I said, I've never been part of a possession case. It was an oppression, which means the demon wasn't inside the kid yet, but it was trying to make its way there. I wasn't worried about it.
They don't want you talking about that.
Yeah. Oh, did I freeze again?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. They didn't want you talking about that demon.
Okay. No, I was saying in an oppression case is that the team we weren't worried, or I wasn't worried about it possessing somebody else there. We were worried about it running away. Yeah. And that's where Megan came in. She has an ability to prevent stuff from running if she wants it to. She kind of puts up a force field, you would say.
So if it runs, does it attach to someone else then or something else?
It'll
That-
try.
Right.
It'll try. Remember, these things can live without a host, though. You know what I mean?
I've heard that. Yeah.
On their way out, if somebody's not mentally shouldn't be there, you know what I mean? Somebody is dealing with their own problems, their own grief, then yeah, they're gonna latch. They're gonna take the first food source they can get.
And that's what
I
we're
heard the
worried
more-
about.
And the more scared you are of them too, the more they latch.
Oh yeah, they love fear, that raw emotion of fear. They also love anger though. And so if you think about that, fear and anger, you sorry,
No, I'm listening. That's all.
but
Everyone's breathing. It's tripping me out.
I have seen ectoplasm come out of an exorcist, black bile, like they hadn't eaten nothing or anything, and actually seen them black bile come out. So
Wow.
it's so scary. It's scary. If you love haunted houses, and, you know, you're like, hey, you know, I don't get jump scared no more. Go to an exorcism. I mean,
I'm
that's
happy is what we
the next step.
I could do that. I would.
Then when you awaken, you know what I mean? Of course you can awaken yourself to see things. So that's the other option. You know,
You don't hear too many people doing those around here anymore. At least where I'm from.
I mean, we don't hear about it here either. Who knows if it's happening? But I mean, it's not
Yeah.
posted out every year.
Yeah, if anything,
That
that would be like a Catholic priest kind of thing, you would think, right?
No.
Wouldn't someone go to a priest over a paranormal theme?
So that's one thing
Yeah.
I've learned. So if you get a chance, and you're not doing it to learn about, like to learn to be bad, but if you ever look into demonology, every religion has its own set of things. So not every one prayer is going to work for the next demon. You know what I mean? It's going to take
Yep.
you finding out what
Who it is? Really.
hit that demon the hardest, whether it's Arabic, Hebrew, Latin, you know, and Buddhist, you know, any religion you believe in, any language you use, you know, they're that. I don't know. I'm getting bobbled right now. Somebody,
Do you ever find that spirits can lie? I think they can lie about their age or names, and
yes,
sometimes it seems like they're so intelligent that they almost think it's funny. They think it's funny that they're lying to you, if that makes sense.
remember
We've had that a couple times.
they have personalities just like us. So remember, you're going to get the class clown, and that's what I like to call them, class clown. You know what I mean? They want to get your attention, kind of thing. So just remember, they're exactly like us. They all have personalities. So,
Well, that was the best where I come in to play with this is that I don't need names. I don't need prayers. I don't need objects. I don't need trinkets. I don't need anything other than to be in the room with it. And then it's over. But then again, not everyone can be me. So, Mike's right when it comes to learning a name and what you use against it in situations like that. But yes, normal at time, most people contact Catholic priests when it comes to dealing with demons. But the creature, the demon, has been around longer than Christianity has been. So
that's how I ended up in the exorcism too, guys. You know, the Catholic diocese wouldn't do an exorcism here. You know, we have one Catholic church. The next one's in Jacksonville, so 2 towns over.
Mhm.
Or, you know, I'd have to travel 45 minutes to get to a Catholic church. So around here, they won't condone an exorcism. You know what I mean? It's not seem to be needed, kind of thing. And that's how I was happy to be able to go to it and do what I did.
It's actually sad, but 99% of the Catholic churches up here are abandoned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got. I was in catechism and Catholic boys' home ran by nuns and stuff. So there's some bad stigmatism, but the religion is sound. Man's version of it is messed up. If that makes sense.
Well, I just noticed that we've been recording for 2 days. Technically,
I told you it was gonna happen.
here on the East Coast. For me, Mike, and Corey here. I guess you know, Owen Keenan, it's what I guess maybe 10 o'clock there. Central time. I don't know what you guys your time zone is.
It's about
9:30.
after 9.
Well,
It's 5:20 in the morning here.
yeah. But no,
Morning.
I do appreciate everybody coming on and giving their perspectives of when it comes to everything we talked about and deal with paranormal. But I guess the closing thing is, where can everybody find you? Unknown Paranormal. Where can everybody find you?
Instagram at the Unknown Paranormal. We have a Facebook page too, the Unknown Paranormal. It's all the Unknown Paranormal. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube, or it's a variation of Unknown Paranormal, Unknown Paranormal, or Unknown Paranormal BC.
Awesome. Mike G from NBC Paranormal. Where can everybody find you?
Well, for me, I have to be difficult and have 2 names, so really sorry about that. But on Instagram, it's Mike.videoreel, and then on YouTube and Facebook, it's NBC Paranormal.
All right. Corey, where everybody can find you at?
So on Instagram and TikTok and all that, it's Cory Med Explores. And then Facebook, I still have the Paranormal Hunters of Mass page where it's still up, and I still post every now and then.
Mike P. I know where I can find you, but whatever else can find you at.
Shadow Walker Paranormal. And my personal, if you guys wanted it, would be Angelic Drum on Instagram. I do have some evidence up there to a Voodoo Priestess. You were talking about still pictures. It's one of the 400 I didn't get rid of. So
Sweet. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds cool, guys.
As always, you can catch our social media at Hidden the Shadows Podcast on Instagram, Hidden the Shaw 6 on Twitter, Hidden the Podcast 2 on TikTok, or links to all our social media, and always listen to us at hiddentheshadowspodcast.com. But hopefully we can do this again next year and bring more people back, including everyone here doing so.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you for having us. This has been a blast. This is cool.
I do appreciate everybody
Always
coming
a
up.
good time.
But as always, we'll catch your weirdos in the next one.